Now, offensively, obviously, it's funny. The performance almost of the South Carolina offense, to me at least, got overshadowed. And not in a positive way, because again, there's a lot of bad things that happen on the offensive side of the football. But I've been talking more defense because the defense just played so pitifully bad. But offensively,
wasn't good.
One of the hot topics has been the quarterback position, which I want to dive into because that's the easiest position to attack, right, Alex? That's the guy. He's taking all the snaps. It kind of all falls on his shoulders. He's just like the head coach. He's just like a coach in the sense he gets too much of the credit when things go well, and he gets too much of the credit when blame when things go poorly. So we all understand what comes with being a starting quarterback, especially in the SEC. But you take a look for South Carolina offensively. Again, I had a sick feeling in my stomach early in the game, being in the building. I mean, again, you get that long run with Kevin Harris and you tie the game at 7-7. But I knew seeing LSU move the football the way they did, it did not bode well for South Carolina. South Carolina simply is just not built offensively, especially. They're not built to win a game like that. They're not built to get into a Big 12 scoring match where you've got to score 40 or 50 to win the football game. The Gamecocks, which it's kind of ironic, LSU did to South Carolina what I think South Carolina wants to do to everybody else, or what South Carolina's been doing this year. They won
Correct.
time of possession. Yeah. LSU held the ball for 37 minutes, which is crazy, but they won time of the possession. They had these long drives. They got those back-breaking third downs. Hell, LSU was 8 for 10 on third downs in this football game. They played the brand of football South Carolina wants to play. And when you saw the Gamecocks get to a point where you're down 21 and you really just feel like you have to throw the football at that point, it was like all of my worst fears came to reality. And the stuff that I was scared about in the preseason, you've got lack of options on the outside. And when defenses take away Shi Smith, which LSU basically did, I mean, he had 2 catches, and really both those catches were like sweet passes that they're counted as a pass and a catch or whatever. But you take him away, there just aren't enough weapons on this South Carolina offense. And I know everyone's putting it on Colin Hill. And listen, he played the worst game of his short South Carolina career at this point. But just talk about as a whole, and then we'll dive into specifics in a second, what you saw from the South Carolina offense. Because, again, really the one positive you can pull from this game, and again, in the midst of it, it's a small positive because it's overshadowed by all the negatives, but Kevin Harris is a beast. Like, Kevin Harris and Deshaun Fenwick are a very reliable 1-2 punch. And, again, I think that's been well established. But it's kind of a shame that South Carolina fell behind the way they did because you were unable to get the ball in Kevin Harris's hands. He only had 12 carries, averaged 10 yards a carry, but he only had 12 carries. But as a whole, what you saw from the Gamecocks offense on Saturday night?
I mean, off the top of my head, it was just like we took way too many sacks. Yeah. And I don't know if that is a measure.
5 sacks in total. 5 sacks in total. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had a bad pick six, which – that happens. So be it. But, we took way too many sacks. It just doesn't look like we're not built to play down 3 touchdowns, mostly because we kick field goals when we're down 3 touchdowns, which I guess we can get into later.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
But, it's a lack. And I don't know if it's a lack of flexibility because of personnel. But when you get down like that, we've got to open it up and give him or Colin or whoever's standing back there better options than we're giving him right now. If that means you got to throw Luke and Dak in there every once in a while to change it up, it's just like it's a lack of flexibility on that front, which I would tell you is the most concerning thing looking at it.
Yeah, well, and like you said, again, I just think it speaks to South Carolina is not built to compete in a game like that. Like they need to – South Carolina needs to muddy it up. It needs to be almost kind of like a sloppy game. Your defense has to play really, really well, and South Carolina's offense just kind of grind out a win. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be a score-at-will offense.
No, it's not. But at the same time, like, that comes back to, I know we were talking about it last week, is the most, positive coaching hire of the year with Bobo. But at the same time, like, that happens. Like, you're going to get down at some point in the season in a game that you need to win.
Yeah.
And to not have the tools readily available to you to go out and compete in that situation is the most troubling part of it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we'd rather we want our stat line to look like LSU's did, where we control the ball for 60% of the game and we got a ton of first downs. We're really efficient on third down, yada, yada. That's not going to happen every week.
Right.
And so there has to be something sitting there where, yeah, we're down. We got to go score points. Let's go do it. And we don't have that. And I don't know why. And it can't be, we don't trust the receivers.
Right.
Like, because at the end of the day, like, you guys recruited them here. You're coaching them. Like, just stick them out there and let them go play.
Right.
Like, if you're down 3 touchdowns, who cares?
Well, and that's
But
my
at
biggest.
the same time, we get in the red zone, we're kicking field goals down 3 touchdowns. So I mean,
that's my biggest thing as far as why I want. People ask me, who do you want to be the next head coach? I'm like, just make it an offensive minded head coach, because I agree with you, especially in today's college football. Again, I said this going into the season. I was like, hey, you can get to 5-5, maybe even 6-4 with the type of philosophy instilled and the type of team that I think, Will Muschamp built and he wanted to have, whatever. But in today's college, well, like you said, you're not going to be able to do that every week. Like, you're going to have to score points to win. And this, I'm just saying, like, just call it for what it is. This South Carolina football team is not built to win a game 42-40. It's certainly not built to score 50. But it's just simply not built right now for whatever reason to win a game like that.